For a while now on this channel, I've been talking about, Agenda 47, Project 2025, and I've been saying how I want to do an example of how they're the same and how to prove that they're the same. And I'm going to be coming out with more videos about this topic in the future as it pertains to, why these two are the same thing and why Donald Trump's attempts to avoid being saddled with the ideas in Project 2025 is absurd, and just him trying to dodge the truth whilst we are investigating what he and his conservative pals want to do while in office if he gets back into the Oval Office. So, in this video, what I'm going to kind of do is I'm going to kind of approach it differently. Like when I have other better produced videos, it'll just be like, here's this, here's this, here's this, this is the proof, this is how it goes. This video specifically is kind of gonna be more of a, this is how you do it as well, how you can go, or how I intend to do it in the future, of looking at Donald Trump stuff, comparing it to Project 2025, and just kind of seeing, okay, how are they the same, and how is Donald Trump at all able to get away with saying that he doesn't support Project 2025? Because there's a lot of fact checking that goes on out there. It's like, oh, well, people say that Donald Trump wants to push 2025, Project 2025, but he's said he doesn't want to do it, and Project 2025 is from the Heritage Foundation and not him. And while the people who have worked on Project 2025 were from the Trump administration, and it could potentially have parts in the upcoming Trump administration, we're still going to call it false that Donald Trump is behind 2025, even though clearly they're the same thing. But don't just believe me. Let's see the work happen. Let's see what happens. So we got here Donald Trump. One of the unfortunate things that Donald Trump did to his website is he used to have a bunch of videos right here on his Agenda 47, and instead he has made kind of a bullet point list of the things he wants to do. And then he links to the Republican Party platform, which is just mcplatform.donaldjtrump.com, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. But that's a link you can link from donaldjtrump.com/platform to this website, which shows the Republican Party platform, which is Donald Trump's platform. And then on the next tab over, we have Project 2025, a mandate for leadership, the conservative promise. Conservative promises are worth less than the paper they're written on. So what do you do? So we're going to look at the border first. We want to look through the border and see what it is that Donald Trump and through the Republican Party wants to do in securing the border. So what's the first thing you do is you go to the Project 2025 website and you search for border. And your first, Dustin J. Kamerick, Fellow of Research for Cybersecurity, blah, 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 and the Border Security Immigration Center at Heritage Foundation. So you're going to get hits. So they're in their forward, step 3, or item number 3 here, defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. Secure the border, Donald Trump's. Republicans restore every border policy of the Trump administration, halt all releases of illegal aliens into the interior. We'll complete the border wall, shift massive portions of federal law enforcement to immigration enforcement, use advanced technology to monitor and secure the border. If you search here and again, restore law, order, protect American sovereignty. So they're using the same language that they use in here. So let's keep on going down. Bureaucrats at the Department of Homeland Security, following the lead of effectless administration, order border administration enforcement agencies to help migrants. That's what they're claiming that they're doing. Defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. We, United States, belong to we the people. All government authorities derives from the consent of the people. Our nation's success derives on the character of its people. So apparently they believe that the character of the people coming across the border are not good. They're claiming the left supports open borders, although that's not true. They just kind of click down further and further. And there's additional stuff here. Where they want a new standalone border and immigration agency at the cabinet level, that the remaining parts of DHS be distributed amongst other departments. So basically, they want to take DHS and create and close it, then make the immigration agency at cabinet level, which will replace DHS, and then put DHS in other areas. Whereas here, they're basically they were going to shift massive portions of law enforcement to federal to immigration enforcement. Let's see, search for homeland. That's not necessarily there. We can go back to border a second. See what else. Again, if we don't have the border, we don't have the country, is what he says. So let's see. So they talk about vetting. Republicans will use the existing federal law to keep Christian-hating communists, Marxists, and socialists out of America. Those who join our country must love our country. We will use extreme vetting to ensure that jihadists and jihadist sympathizers are not admitted. So you can't have freedom of speech if you're freedom of thought. If you're a communist, if you're a Christian hater. Notice no mention of Jew hating in this one, mind you. No mention of Jew hating. They don't care about whether or not they hate Jewish people. It's just about Christians at this point. They only use the term Judeo-Christian whenever it's convenient to them. So let's go back over here and we can search their document for vetting. I think there are a few more than just one, yeah. Let's go ahead and scroll to the top. And we're going to search for vetting. Come on. Let's go. Come on, let's scroll. There we go. Let's see, U.S. Citizenship and Immigrated Services. Let's see. Fraud Detection National Security Directorate is currently a small directorate, blah, blah, blah. Prioritized vetting and fraud discretion. Let's see, that's part of U.S. Citizenship and Migration. So they're going to use vetting and fraud detection. What else are they going to vet for? They're going to reform the agency, returning it to its screening and vetting mission in protecting its homeland. Training should be returned to federal law enforcement training centers, which should underscore the enforcement rule of USCIS as a vetting agency and rebrand accordingly. Ensure that focus is returned on vetting, base eligibility of applicants, and fraud detention. What the vetting policies are, National Vetting Center, vetting resources. But let's see. Let's see if there's any mention of communism here in the document. There's 5. Let's go ahead and go to the first one. Oh, there's 6 now. It's still searching. So let's go back up to there. American people, we rejected communism. Promise of socialism, communism, Marxism, progressivism, fascism, whatever name it includes. Of course, fascism is the conservative side, not the leftist side. Government control of the economy can ensure equal outcomes for all people. That's not necessarily what people on the left are advocating for. Not equal outcomes, but equal opportunities. But whatever. Y'all don't even want people to have equal opportunities. There's no such thing as the government. Hilarious. But they've made a big deal to bring up communism in their document as well. So both Trump and the, Heritage Foundation have issues with communism, Marxism, and socialism. Let's put love of country. Maybe that might. I don't know if that's going to come up with any hits. That's probably too overly specific. Um, the idea that love is a word. Let's see. Ben Carson and love. Let's see. Nah. That's environmental extremism. Beloved books, tough love approach, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, what's the Trump administration's tough love approach to international organizations served American interests. So they like the Trump. They want to implement Trump things, but no, he has no relation to it whatsoever. Protect faith-based grants recipients from religious liberty violations and maintain biblically based social science reinforced definition of marriage and family. That's not necessarily having to do with borders, but it does kind of back up the whole idea of we want to make sure that the people aren't Christian haters, because you can't have any Christian haters coming into the country. God forbid you have people who have disagreed with a religion. Gasp, the horror. So let's see, stop illegal immigration, restore peace through strength. Let's go back through border here, get some more keywords, just to kind of see what else we can hit on in Project 2025. Of course, there's the wall. We could always search for wall and see what they have to say about the border wall, because they love Trump's border wall. Nobody has a better wall. Everyone is the best wall. Nobody has better walls. Yes, Dean Baker, fascism is absolutely their goal. Just taking a while for this to scroll through. I'm sure there's lots of mentions of the wall, because we got Wallace, Wall Street. Mandatory appropriation for border wall system infrastructure. The monies appropriated would be used to fund the construction of additional border wall systems, technology, and personnel in strategic locations in accordance with the Border Security Improvement Plan. Wall. Let's just search wall as well. Let's see. We will complete the border wall. Shift that as well. Against all odds, President Trump has completed hundreds of miles of wall and will quickly finish the job. Will he now? I don't believe you. Republicans will mobilize military personnel and assets as necessary to crack down hard on cartels that traffic drugs and people in our country. Funny, Biden administration is doing just that. But, y'all want to make that a negative. Oh, they're no, Biden's catching them. You didn't catch them. Biden's catching them. He's doing a better job of it than you did. Let's see. Go back to border, find other things that might be interesting to read about to try and find matches. I think we've already seen several things that are clearly let's see. Let's scroll down here. Let's look up deport. That's the other thing. They talked about mass deportation. So let's search for deport and see what they have to say about being deported. To Dean Baker, the right defines morals as they see it. Liberals live it because it's the right to do. Exactly. Let's see. The role of ICE deportation officers should be clarified. Enforcement and removal operations should be identified as being primarily responsible for enforcing civil immigration regulations, including the civil arrest, detention, removal of immigration violators anywhere in the United States without a warrant where appropriate, subject only to the civil warrant requirements of the INA where appropriate. And allow DHS to lead international engagement in the Western Hemisphere on issues of security and migration. Additionally, quickly and aggressively address recalcitrant countries' failures to accept deportees by imposing stiff sanctions until deportees are in fact accepted. So they're again also talking about deporting. So Trump wants to deport. They want to deport. Let's see if they want to use the Navy to block fentanyl in the waters of the region. Isn't the fentanyl coming across the border and not the land border and not the other border? You know, he's just crazy. A fentanyl-free frontier. Same cartels that parasitically run Mexico also work with the PRC to fuel the drug crisis in the history of North America. These Mexican cartels are working closely with Chinese fentanyl precursor chemical manufacturers, importing these precursor chemicals into Mexico and manufacturing fentanyl on Mexican soil and shipping it into the United States and elsewhere. Highly potent narcotic is having a lethal impact. Blah 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 blah. Let's see, where else do they talk about fentanyl? Let's see, fentanyl free frontier, fentanyl precursor, fentanyl Mexican soil, fentanyl, adoption reform and fentanyl. Biden administration believing that we are swamped by a tide of illegal drugs, particularly fentanyl, even though the Biden administration has stopped fentanyl from crossing the border. Secure the border, Mexico, blah, 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 blah. Precursors from the Chinese Communist Party of the people of China, weapons, human trafficking, blah, 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 blah. These cartels are also violent, blah, blah, blah. In addition to finalizing the southwestern land border wall, the next administration should take a creative and aggressive approach to tackling these dangerous criminal organizations. This would include use of active duty personnel, National Guardsmen who are seeking arrest across the border. Something has been done. Let's see, there can be no disputes, blah, 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 that the Biden administration has opened the southwest border. That is clearly under dispute. You are a liar. But you're the Heritage Foundation, so we expect nothing less. All right, so there's no necessarily talk of the Navy being used there, unless it's in another thing. That's the other thing that these people do, though. They will word things in a way that makes it so that it's hard to find. Because I remember I was searching for something under the FDIC, and you couldn't search FDIC. You had to actually search Federal Deposit in order to get what they want to do with the FDIC down. U.S. Navy must consider scope and rate of technical change. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Reestablish the General Board. One of the problems that they have, just on a non-related subject, is that the conservatives will often say that China has a bigger navy than we do, but they count actual hull and not the sizes of the hulls when they're counting. So, like, if you have like 1,000 dinghies, that's 1,000 ships compared to one aircraft carrier. Who's going to win? I think the aircraft carrier and its complement of support ships and airplanes or jet airplanes will win the day over such things. So, Marine Corps, Navy. So it doesn't seem like they're mentioning the Navy here when it comes to the border, but it's not going to be exactly the same. But you are going to have situations where we've already seen where there's a lot of overlap between the policies that are being pushed by the Trump campaign and his Agenda 47 and the 2025 mandate for leadership. Let's go to let's search for sanctuary city. Let's just search sanctuary because it could be under cities or city. Congress should require compliance with immigration detainers to the maximum extent with the 10th Amendment and set financial disadvantages for jurisdictions that implement either official or unofficial sanctuary policies, as opposed to what he says here. Republicans will cut federal funding to sanctuary jurisdictions that release dangerous illegal alien criminals into our streets rather than heading over to ICE. So it's the same thing. That's the same thing. Here it's just saying we're going to cut federal funding to sanctuary jurisdictions, even though there's no such thing, because no local government has the authority or the ability to enforce border policy. That power rests only with the federal government, and as such, the states and local governments can't do it, so you can't blame local and state governments for not doing what they're not allowed to do. But stop sanctuary cities here, and same thing here. Congress should require compliance, use financial disincentives for jurisdictions that implement either official or unofficial sanctuary policy. So financial disincentives and cut funding is the same damn thing. So again, it's the same idea, just a different way to word it. Ensure our legal immigration system puts American workers first. Republicans report is merit-based immigration. Let's see if they even have that here. If they have merit-based. See if that happens to be a keyword here, but it's probably not. Oh, there's one. There's one thing that we've caught. Or there's two. Let's see what it says or how it's worded this one to see if this has anything to do with that. There you go. The incoming administration should spearhead an immigration legislative agenda focused on creating a merit-based immigration system that rewards high-skilled aliens instead of current system that favors extended family-based and luck-of-the-draw immigration. To that end, diversity visa lottery should be repealed, chain migration should be blah, 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 blah. Whereas here, Republicans will prioritize merit-based immigration, ensuring those admitted to our country contribute positively to our society and economy and never become a drain on public resources. We will end chain migration and put American workers first. Again, they're saying the exact same things. So if they're saying the exact same things, how can any fact checker claim that they're not the same policies? So if Donald Trump's supporting Agenda 47, and Agenda 47 is Project 2025, then because A equals B and B equals C, Donald Trump ipso facto supports Project 2025. And we've now seen several more additional examples of why these two are the same exact policies, just worded differently. It's just different wording. It's the same thing, just worded differently. They want a merit-based immigration. Both say the same thing. They want financial disincentives or cut funding to so-called sanctuary cities. Both are the same thing. They want to build the wall. They want to, change enforcement of and retrain people in the Department of Homeland Security or whatever to make it so that they are working on vetting, and then they want to make sure that the people that are vetted are the so-called right people to come into this country. It's the same thing. And from this point on, we're going to be making more and more videos that explain why Project 2025 and Agenda 47 are the exact same thing. So any attempts for conservatives to claim that they're not can be shown that they're wrong, and you can just point to the playlist that I'll be creating tonight after the show is over, and you can share that playlist, share individual videos for that playlist, etc., as they get made. So what do you think of this video? Do you like how I showed you how to go ahead and do those searches and try and get around how Project 2025 will sometimes try and reword things in such a way to make it harder to find? Do you now agree that on the issue of border, at least, Project Agenda 47 and Project 2025 are the same thing? If you do, leave your comments below. Remember to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and as always, have a good day.